It's Tuesday, and you sent an $18,000 bathroom quote. You're pretty happy about it, and the client seems interested. But Friday comes, and the homeowner hires someone else. Why? You got slammed with a permit crisis and forgot to follow up. I'm Jennifer Chen, and this is exactly why I'm building Backform, but not in the way that most people think AI tools work. I spent years working directly with general contractors, not as a consultant dropping in for meetings. I mean, actually working alongside crews, understanding how jobs really run versus how software companies think they run. And here's what I kept seeing. A master electrician who could diagnose a panel issue in 30 seconds would lose a $12,000 commercial job because he called the property manager back on a Wednesday instead of a Tuesday. A plumber with 15 years of experience and impeccable work ethic would miss out on a maintenance contract because his follow-up email got buried under an emergency call. These weren't skill problems. These were operational design problems. And for the last 14 years, I've built systems that stop operational chaos from killing profits. I've worked with large companies losing hundreds of thousands of dollars in deals to follow-up gaps, law firms missing case opportunities because proposals sat in drafts, agencies bleeding clients due to response delays. The pattern is always the same. Skilled professionals losing opportunities not because of their work quality, but because of the systematic follow-up that falls through the cracks when real work demands attention. So now I'm watching contractors make these same mistakes. And I know exactly how to fix it, but not with the approach that most AI companies are taking. Let me show you the actual math on what these follow-up gaps cost. Average contractors spend about 5 to 7 quotes per week on these follow-up gaps costs. The average contractor sends about 5 to 7 quotes per week. Let's be conservative and say 5. Of those 5, realistically, 3 are going to need follow-up to close. They're interested, but busy getting other bids, and they haven't really made a decision yet. So in a perfect world, you'd follow up on all 3 consistently, but here's what really happens. On Monday, you send out these quotes. On Tuesday, an emergency pipe burst takes your entire day. Wednesday, a permit office runs that was supposed to take an hour takes 4. Thursday, a crew doesn't show up and you're scrambling for coverage. So Friday, you're slammed on catching up on actual work that these 3 quotes need follow-up. You're not going to even remember them. They're not even on your radar. So let's do the math. These 3 missed follow-ups per week, let's just take that 3 times per week times 52 weeks times $15,000 average job value. Well, that's $234,000 in lost revenue annually. And in truth, this is conservative. I've talked to contractors losing more because their average job value is higher, or because they're sending more quotes as their reputation grows. But here's what makes this particularly painful. You're not losing to contractors with better skills or lower prices. A contractor told me just last week, I drove by a job that I quoted and saw the work. Sloppy tile, uneven lines. I know my work would have been cleaner. But his quote showed up probably just a few hours after they called. Mine took 3 days because I was finishing a kitchen in Venice. You're losing to contractors with better operational systems, and they're not better craftsmen. And that's what Backform is designed to fix. Now here's where Backform is different from other AI tools you've seen marketed towards contractors. Most AI companies promise, sign up, connect your phone, it works automatically. That's bullshit for what you actually need. Your follow-up messages need to sound like you, not a generic bot. Your quote structure is different if you're a plumber versus an electrician versus a general contractor. Your workflow, your communication style, your pricing approach. All of this is specific to how you've built your business. So Backform isn't a software you buy and just install. It's a custom system that I build with you. We spend about 5 hours together, sometimes even more depending on the complexity, configuring Backform to match exactly how you work. I learn how you speak to your clients. I understand your pricing structure. I map out your typical workflow. Then I customize 4 AI agents to help you manage the operational work that does not require your expertise. And this is why I'm working with a founding group of contractors right now. Not trying to scale to thousands. Custom implementation takes time, and it takes attention, and it takes actually understanding the specifics of your business. But here's why that time investment is worth it. Once Backform is configured for your operation and runs automatically in the background, the 5 hours of setup saves you hundreds of hours annually in manual follow-up work. And more importantly, It stops those 234,000 in annual revenue leaks. Here's what we actually build together. Agent 1 handles missed call responses. So when a homeowner calls while you're on a roof and you can't answer, they immediately speak to Agent 1 for clarification. And if preferred, they can approve a professional text follow-up. Hi, Sarah. This is David from Modern Construction. I saw your call about the bathroom renovation. I'm currently on a job site, but I'll call you back within 2 hours. In the meantime, can you share a few details about your project? And Backform customizes that message to sound like you, not a robot. Agent 2 manages follow-up timing. So when you send a quote and the client goes quiet, Backform automatically sends professional check-ins after 24 hours, 3 days, 7. Again, fully customizable, not pushy, just helpful. Hi, Maria. Following up on that bathroom quote I sent on Tuesday. Attached are a link to photos of similar work that we finished in Manhattan Beach just last month. Happy to adjust timeline or scope based on your needs. You approve of these messages during setup, so they're always in your voice and tone. Agent 3 handles quote generation. So when clients fill out project details through a form that Backroom sends, I work with you to customize quote ranges for your specific trade and market. Or after your walkthrough, you go back to your car and finalize your quote. This isn't automated guessing. It's your pricing structure, built into a system that can provide realistic ranges while prospects are still interested instead of waiting for days for you to crunch numbers. And Agent 4 coordinates scheduling and provides you with clean updates. Clients can see your availability and book estimates without phone tag. This integrates with you however you are currently managing your calendar. But here's the key. I set up all of this for you. You don't need to learn software. You don't need to manage dashboards. During the configuration sessions, I work with you so that you can approve the messages, you can adjust the pricing structure, you control what Backform says or sends on your behalf, and then it runs. This is for contractors who are losing 2 to 3 or more jobs per month to follow-up timing, who are too busy working to chase quotes consistently, who know their communication should be more professional but don't have the time to make it happen manually, and who are willing to invest 5+ hours in a custom setup to solve this problem permanently. This is not for contractors who want plug-and-play automation. That doesn't exist for this problem. And that's not what contractors who aren't willing to spend the time on proper configuration. And it's not for contractors who don't see follow-up gaps as real revenue problems worth solving. I'm working with a founding group of contractors to build and refine Backform. If you want to be part of the process, here's what happens next. Click on the link in the description. It goes to moderncollective.io/Backform. You'll see a short intake form asking about your business, what trade you're in, how many quotes you send weekly, and what follow-up challenges cost you the most. This isn't a sales funnel. I use this to understand if Backform is even relevant for your operations before we waste each other's time on a call. And if it looks like the fit is worth based on your responses, I'll personally reach out within 48 hours to schedule a conversation. We'll walk through what working together would actually look like, the configuration process, the time investment, and whether or not this solves your specific problem. This isn't for everybody, but if you're a contractor losing $20,000 or more annually to follow-up gaps, and you're ready to fix that problem with a properly configured system, let's get to work. I'm Jennifer Chen, founder of Modern Collective, building systems that stop operational chaos from killing contractor profits.